Hey everyone, welcome to this week's live lesson slash Q&A session. Yes, get your questions in now. I know there's only 2 questions we're going to address so far, but hopefully you have some more questions for us. Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and noodle.
Sit here and noodle for a little
Noodle
while,
your ears off.
It's not the worst idea.
Speaking of noodling your ears off, let's play something.
Play something? Okay, let's do it.
This is funny because I have no idea. Well, I think you said we're in C sharp, but my guitar is down tuned one whole step, and then I just randomly put a capo on somewhere on my guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm just going to play here because I don't feel like tuning my guitar back up to standard tuning because it's got 13s on it. So I was like, random key day.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice. Like, I know, like, as a lead guitar player, it's kind of nice to like improvise in different keys or practice improvising in different keys you're maybe not as used to or comfortable with.
Yeah. It's good exercise, man.
Yeah, it's really good. C sharp is a nice one. I was telling Nate before. It's like, it's comfy. I don't know. I don't know what it is about. Some keys are just comfier than others as a guitar player. So yeah, just super general, just Q&A about anything today.
Anything is fair game.
Literally anything guitar related or, let's keep it guitar related. Guitar related, music related.
Well, on another note, it is Andrew's birthday, so everybody wish him a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Just pound his inbox with happy
Oh,
birthday.
no, don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you go through all of them and he'll reply to all of them too.
I will. If you email me, I will absolutely reply.
Before we actually get into the inbox for the lesson, there's something in the form that I wanted to address.
Okay.
Because it's very important, and this is like one of the biggest stumbling blocks for new guitar players, and if you can get past this, you can play some real music, and then you're not going to be frustrated. You're going to have a little win, which is going to inspire you to move forward. And I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, but Espersi? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Esseperse is having trouble changing between open chords, and I know that's super frustrating, and it can be really tough. Mm-hmm. And he said he's gone through and he's tried to apply all the tips for changing chords smoothly. First of all, make sure your guitar is set up properly and as easy to play as possible. If your strings are this high off the fretboard, I wouldn't even be able to change chords smoothly, right? So just make sure, if you can, get somebody who's a more experienced player than you to say, oh yeah, your action or your height off the string height off of the fretboard is cool, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Or they can be like, you need to go get this checked out and get it fixed. Yeah. So that might be what is giving you trouble. If not, if it's fine, the biggest advice I have for you, I'll give you a couple things, but the first one is very general. The first one is to be able to play one chord by itself before even trying to switch chords. If you can't do that, you're just going to frustrate yourself. So step number 1, let's say if you're learning a C chord, is to just go every day and get that C chord on to where you can go on all at once and not like one finger at a time, right? If you're still at the stage where you're making things one finger at a time, there's no way you're going to be able to change between chords, because if you're trying to play in time, you have to stop and pause, get that chord set up. and get it to where it's playable, to where you can strum it. So if you're trying to pick 2 chords, doesn't matter what they are. If you've gone through open chords 1 and strumming 1, you have at least probably 2 chords down. So pick those 2. Don't try to switch between them. Just work on them by themselves. So let's just say it's a C and a G chord. And to sit there for 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Put that C chord on, take it off. And then, after a few minutes of that, switch to a G chord and start working on it with your G chord. That's step 1, that is ground zero. Just getting the chords down by themselves before trying to switch. And once you can do that, then you can start trying to make the switch, right? Now, something that's going to help you to make the chords clean on their own are to get your elbow in and get the guitar up a little bit higher. I don't do that, but I should. I should be playing like this, but it annoys me, right?
Yeah.
So if those 2 things, if you get your elbow in, so you can get your fingers down more on their tips and right behind the frets, and then get the guitar up a little higher, maybe with a footstool, maybe with a strap, that'll help you make clean chords a lot better. So those 2 things, right behind the frets. Also, if you go towards the back of the frets, it's gonna sound buzzy, right? So, So just remember those 2 things, work on them each individually. C chord, elbow in, guitar up with a footstool or strap. And that's all your goal is to start off. That's it.
Footstool or strap or classical method.
Classical method, yeah. But that's all you're gonna do. Don't worry about anything else. You can do chord changing later on, but if you do this and get this down first, it's gonna make your life a lot easier. So do that with the 2 chords you're trying to work on. Not switching between them. Once you can do that on their own, then try to switch between them. And don't put time constraints on yourself at first. In other words, don't play to a jam track or don't play. You mentioned that you couldn't play with a jam track that I was playing in there. Don't try to keep up with me when you're first starting to try switch between chords. Just go at your own pace and focus on making the chord change clean. Think about the chord that's coming next. Think about what it feels like. And take as long as you need to get there. Once you can do that, then you can start maybe putting on the jam tracks for these first, like open chords 1, strumming 1, strumming 2. And don't worry about fancy strumming at the beginning either. Just do whole notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, measure of rest, 1, 2, switch to a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, measure of rest, switch to a G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's not very glamorous. And it's not as fun as playing along to like a jam track or real music, but if you do those things in that order, it's going to make playing along to music and playing along to a jam track when you get to that stage a lot easier for yourself. And you may not be in this live episode, but I'm going to link to this live episode once it's up in the archives, so you can come back here and watch it, because I really want you to get this down. And if you have any troubles at all, email me, or email support, one of the 2, and you'll get to me. And we'll make sure you get this down.
So we have a little bit of a technical difficulty right now. Just trying to sort it out with, looks like the stream's not showing up on Guitareo right now. Okay. So I don't know if you just want to play a bit and we can try and figure this out.
should be capturing those. Should
It is, yeah. We're live on YouTube and stuff. It's just we're not live in the members area.
Okay. It should be. We'll just get it in the archives. If that is the case, if it keeps going, and we'll answer all the questions too. Not that people are going to be necessarily big questions in.
I mean, we can. Do you want to? We can move on to the next question. We can talk about that while if we can try and get this back up.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question while we're getting this sorted out.
Okay. This one here is from Marco. So Marco says, "Hi guys, you responded to me in the technique lessons that picking helps in rhythm doing walk downs and bass lines. As a beginner, can you give a few examples of this explanation and play a few examples? Thanks for the lesson."
Sure. Andrew's probably actually a bit better than this time because it's not something that I'm always aware of, but. So stuff like that is, in general, like the basic introduction to the kind of stuff you're talking about. And you're probably, I think the question was something like, why do I need to learn picking single notes if I'm playing rhythm guitar? Well, there are times when you're going to need to play single notes. So if you're playing maybe blues.
Yep.
My cable's messing me up. For stuff like that, you're definitely going to need, I mean, that's not really lead guitar. That's still what I would consider part of rhythm guitar. You're just putting a lick in to kind of fill things out and make it a little more interesting. So you're still going to need the ability to play single notes, whether it's up on higher strings. And that got into a little bit more like lead guitar stuff right there. But it's the same skill. You still need to, like, even if you're just playing a C chord, instead of strumming all 5 strings, right?
Yeah.
You need the ability to come back and hit that root note if you want to, or alternate bass, something like that. Instead of just playing.
Right.
So that's like the basic as far as like motion of, you know, moving notes with chords and using kind of a lead guitar technique. I guess most people would consider that picking single notes.
I mean, even you jump into something like cross-picking, right? Like, I think a huge thing with strumming is it can sound really one-dimensional, and things like cross-picking, like if I'll try and make it, like, not super annoying. Right? So I'm using strumming and picking technique at the same time, and that's something that's like really common, even as a beginner. I mean, even you start off with, so things like that, right? Cross picking, and I'm not even probably doing it perfectly, but just being able to do that regular picking technique within my strumming, something I do all the time, because just having something sound so one-dimensional, like, it's like, how do you create a dynamic change from that? And that can be sometimes hard, and cross-picking, and not just cross-picking, but the little walk-ups, walk-downs and stuff is a great way to create like that dynamic feel too.
Watch last week's lesson with Alex Flock too. He did something like putting in little things like that. Yeah, that was kind of a lead lick, but I consider that part of the rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. Oh, I hope that helps a little bit. With walk-ups and walk-downs too, like one thing, especially like in the key of G major and the key of C major, it's super easy because you have access to, so if I'm in G, so G, D, C, E minor, I have all those, so I'm just going 0, 2, 3, and then 0, 2, 3 on the next string. All those are kind of available, so when I'm so I can use all of those notes within while I'm trying to changing between chords.
And the cool thing about that is it kind of leads you into the next one.
Yep.
It's like, oh, something's coming. What's going on?
Absolutely. It's very reminiscent of like what bass players try to do a lot too.
And especially if you're playing guitar by yourself or with another guitar player, it really fills in kind of that motion that a bass player would normally do.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
On to the next one here. So we do have a few. I think it's working for some people, not working for other people. So you might
refresh?
refreshing breaks it. So don't refresh. But this will be in the archive, so people can still watch back. We just might not be able to go as long because we won't have enough questions, but that's okay. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Catman.
Time is of the essence, Andrew.
Well, Vincent was saying that when you hit 26, time starts to go faster. So I figure if I talk faster, it makes up for that time.
It's not untrue.
You know what I mean? For those that don't know, I am now 26 years old. I do feel old now.
26.
Is that French?
That's
Spanish? Let's show how much I know. Next question here from Catman. I've never heard of a blind guitarist besides Jose Feliciano.
Yep.
Until I saw Jeff Healey in the film Roadhouse. What are your thoughts about him, and did you ever see him live?
I never did get to see him live. One of my best friends did several times because he worked at one of the biggest bars.
Okay.
In Canada, I guess, like the biggest venue/bars. It was a long time ago.
Interesting.
But Jeff Healey is legendary.
Yeah.
Other blind guitarists that you might want to check out are Doc Watson. He just died, I think, last year or the year before. Okay. Johnny Hyland. He's amazing. He's legally blind. He could see stuff right here, but that's it. So
Johnny Hyland is a monster.
He can play anything.
He's a monster.
Literally anything.
Yeah. So yeah, he's insane. I'm trying to think. The cool thing about guitar is that you can play it blind. Like, it's so easy to play without looking. Like, when you get better, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, we rely on our eyes a lot, but if I, lost my sight, I don't think it would take that long to kind of get back into that. As long as you can hear, the hardest thing is when you play a show and you can't really hear yourself that well, and then you try to do something without looking, and then it's like, I just realized I am 1 fret over, and I just did the wrong thing. It has happened to me before.
We got a couple more questions.
I got one more in here. So, unfortunately, I don't think. No, it's still down. So.
My wife texted me a question. So.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. Okay, well, let's do her question and then we'll end on this one.
She says, and she knows the answer to this question. She just wants me to reiterate it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
What's the best scale and skills? Okay. And I thought it was just skills. And skills to learn if you want to start playing blues.
Ooh. What could... I gotta find what key you're in. Hold on. Oh, you can... Okay. It's a fun game.
I'm not changing chords.
You didn't notice, minor pentatonic scale is just the king.
It's king. And watch, literally, I keep referring to this the second time this lesson, go watch Alex Flock's lesson last week. It's pretty much everything you need to know to get into it. Like, literally, if I had a D minor pentatonic scale, I'm playing an E, sorry. So get the scale down first. And just literally knowing exactly where each note in that one minor pentatonic scale shape is, and the ones that you can tweak to give you different sounds. Like the flat 5, one of my favorite ones is fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's hard to do on acoustic. That's a cool sound. The flat 3 up to the, if you want to be a little more major, the flat 7 up to the, almost up to the 7.
Yep.
And there's that lower 3rd up to the 3rd again.
Yep. I threw in one of these. So with wait, where were we? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the major. See, when I hear that, I had the 5 chord.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, honestly, like, you could just play that scale and get away for the rest of your life.
And there's people that do.
Yeah. It's terrible, but
no, it's great.
You can absolutely do it. So I would, as far as scales, I mean, that's it, right? The nice thing, like, and she said skills too, right?
Scales and skills. Yeah. I would literally if you've seen that YouTube /Facebook video of the crotchety old man saying, every man that's ever played a solo, all this blues stuff has one thing going in his head. Yep. Stevie Ray Vaughan, one thing. And that's true. Like, get that feel down, get a looper or a jam track that just has that on it, and get to where you can play through the minor pentatonic scale. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1. Flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3. Know exactly where those notes are.
It's better than
so you can hit them. Right, that's out of context. That is just playing through an arpeggio, so I know where the root, 3rd, 5th, 3rd, root, 5th, 3rd, root are. And once you do that, you're gonna have a really good idea of, okay, I'm starting to memorize what the root note sounds like over. I keep forgetting I'm down tuned. Over D.
An E major for you.
Play like a D7. Okay, and just give me a rhythm. Yeah, that. So I know where the roots are. Keep going. Up to the 3rd.
I'll stay on D.
And then where the 5th is. And then start bending the 3rd up. And then start to memorize where that lower 7th is. Because that wants to go up to the root. And if you want to get the blues note in there, the flat 5. And all of a sudden, you're going to start to memorize what all these sounds are: the root, 3rd, 5th, 4th, the flat 5, the lower 3rd up to the 3rd, the lower 7th up to the 7th, and you're going to be able to just, I want to hear this, so I'm going to play that over this. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And
I don't do that at all.
That's fine. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was just out of pure laziness. I didn't know to learn those things, and then now at this point, I think it would set me back probably a little bit.
And once you get done with that, it's just a matter of changing the notes that you're using out of the scale to match over, like when it goes to the 4 chord. Mm-hmm. So if you have the 4 chord.
Or I can go up to.
Yeah. 4th scale degree, and on the 5th. Oh, you can, yeah, okay.
Sorry. I'll go to the 5th here.
But just being aware, like even if I just emphasize, I can just play the scale. And when Andrew hits the 5 chord, and he hits the 4, and back to the 1, right?
The key is to make those faces too.
You have to. If
literally
you're
have
not,
to.
you're not doing it right.
Well, you're not doing the blues.
You're not doing the blues. Yeah. But that's, and learn songs, learn a ton of songs. Learn a lot of solos. Don't have to be hard ones, tough ones. Learn a lot of songs, and then you can see how people treat those notes.
Absolutely.
When they're, how they're thinking about it.
Work on your ear.
Context.
That's a big thing too. Yeah. If you really wanna master the whole blues thing, those guys have incredible ears. As far as like being able to produce melodies, not necessarily like intense ear training,
Yeah.
but those guys just, there's something about every lick they play is just like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
They know what they're doing.
Okay. One last one here from Alex B, and we'll probably wrap it up on that. Maybe we can do one more jam or something at the end. Hey, a couple things. When trying to do the legato exercises from the first video from the Guitar Chops lesson series, it gets quite quick, or it gets quick very quickly. It gets
fast.
It's a tongue twister a little bit. It gets very fast, so I don't really see how I can do it without strumming the string again. Am I missing something?
I believe you're talking about something like the trill exercise. The idea behind that, like as far as a trill exercise, doesn't matter which finger you're on. You don't have to play it fast. That exercise is meant to be as slow or as fast as you want it to, depending on your skill level. So you can do it slowly. But like the idea is to pick the first note just to get the string going. As soon as you do the hammer on, it helps keep the string ringing a little bit, and then you do the pull off. And if you do the pull off right, you kind of pluck it. Like I don't even need to pick the string really if I started with a pull off. You just get it going, right? So if you're doing, you don't have to pull off really hard, but you have to pull off hard enough to where, like literally, I'm just picking the string like this.
Yeah.
But I'm holding down this note below. And the only reason I do it fast is because I like to push it, right? If not, it doesn't matter. What you're really working on is just control and getting your hand in shape and getting that coordination there. And then the next one.
It will take you some time. You kind of got to get like the muscle memory of the fine tuning of the movement, right?
It took me, I had to make a decision to be like, okay, I'm actually going to work on this to get it to where it was manageable. But like if you're just starting out, you just do it on the top string. Doesn't have to be a long time, maybe a few measures that one, then switch. And it doesn't have to be smooth at first. You can stop and go to the next one.
And if you notice, like, Nea's not just bringing his finger off.
Right.
He's literally pulling down and out.
Right, I'm not doing this. It's still making noise, but it's not
much quieter, right? Yeah.
Not like that. I'm like pulling down and out. That's an exaggeration too. And you can do the whole secondary hammer-on thing too if you want. It's up to you. But you don't have to. The idea isn't to do it fast. That's not the idea. The idea is the quality of the.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. There's a follow-up question as well. So the second question was, can you talk about triads a bit? I've heard of them, but don't know much about them.
Okay, cool. The cool thing is if you know your basic 5 open major chords, you already know all of your major triad shapes, which is lovely. You may not realize that you do, but all a triad is, let's say you're playing a C major chord. And that would be, what is that, a B?
B flat.
B flat, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's say you're playing a C shape chord. Remember, I'm down to the whole step, so ignore that. The notes in that chord are C, E, and G. The way you make it open a major chord is to take, there's a couple ways you can think about it. You can think about taking the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and just circling the first, third, and fifth notes. That gives you the notes C, E, and G, the notes in a C major chord. You can also think about stacking what we call thirds, triads, right? Kind of play into one another there. All a third is on the guitar, a major third is skipping 1, 2, 3 frets. So from C to an E. You can just think the C is the root note of the C major scale, the E is the third of the C major scale. And that's the first little part of the formula for a major chord is a major third. Now the second part of the formula for a major chord is to put a minor third on top of that, so skip 2 frets to a G. I really don't think about it that way as much. I just think about the natural musical alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, and skip every other note, C, D, E, F, G. And I think about the C major scale. If it had sharps or flats in it, if it was another major scale, you'd have to account for those. So like what's a good one? A major scale, A major chord would be A, C sharp, E, because the A major scale is spelled A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. So you're just taking the first, third, and fifth of any major scale to get its equivalent major chord, and that leaves you with a triad or a 3-note chord. In this case, it's a major chord. It could be a minor chord if you lower the third. But a triad generally is just a 3-note chord, and there are 4 basic types. They're major, minor, diminished, and augmented. Mostly people just deal with major and minor, right? Or C major, C minor, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking about triads in the context that you're talking about them, you're probably talking about like
The little 3-note groups.
something like that, like using that for in a lead guitar context,
Oh, okay.
something
Like
like
a triad arpeggio kind of thing?
like an arpeggio, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are little tiny 3-note groupings on the guitar that kind of make up your main open major chords, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Here's a really good example. It's a D major chord. Okay, and the notes you're fretting are one of the kind of mini shapes that make up a major triad, and those are the 3 notes in a D major chord: D, F sharp, and A. And you can think about that. Instead of just memorizing one note, D, you can think, hey, if I memorize the shape, I automatically know where the 3rd is, and the 5th too. And it's movable like everything else on the guitar. So if I wanted to play a B flat major triad, I can just move it up here. And instead of knowing just where B flat is, now I know exactly where the 3rd and the 5th are too. Because if I'm playing over B flat major chord, then it's important to know where those notes are, because those are the strong notes to target when you're improvising.
Right.
So, but the cool thing about this is, watch this. If I move this D major triad down one whole step with these open strings, it's automatically located already in this C major shape. Like open string, first finger constitutes the D shape.
Right.
But right here, the lower half, you have this new triad shape. And the root's in the bottom, the 3rd is in the middle, and then the 5th will be on the top. One course on the website that I would really recommend going to watch is Asher Kurt's Expanding Your Chord Vocabulary. I think was the 2nd or 3rd newest one on the site.
Yeah, second newest.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, but he goes through every triad shape, and you already know these. You're gonna be like, oh, I already know these. I just didn't know that I did. So here's one. Here's one for same one, just moved over a string pair for your G major chord. One for, like if you make an A major chord, there's one right here, root, 3rd, 5th. There's one right here, root, 3rd, 5th on top. It's just a way of chunking up roots, 3rds, and 5ths to recognizable shapes on the guitar. I hope that makes sense. So, and let me show you one more thing. This one I really liked when I learned it. The top part of a C major triad, you have, like, let's take the top 4 notes. If you take that and you bar it, it still looks like a C major chord. Right, but I'm thinking about this shape right here. But this D shape is on top too.
Totally.
So this is a G note, that's where my root is. So I can use that as kind of the framework for my major scales. To know where those important notes are if I'm playing over a G major chord in that case. So.
Right.
Long,
That was a really good explanation,
long
actually.
answer to a
No,
short
that was
question.
good though.
Cool.
That was everything you needed to know. Okay, well, there's no more questions, so should probably wrap her up. Do you want to maybe play something, and then I'll play along, and we'll see what happens, and go with that.
Do we need to tell the peeps anything?
I did get the stream thing figured out, so
Okay.
but I think it's too little, too late.
That's okay.
So you guys
You
can
can
watch
watch
it
it in the
in the
archives, guys. I'll post to the answer, the first question that we did in the forum, to the question.
Do you want to just tune with this?
Yes, I do think.
You're welcome.
Stall.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying the Q&A sessions. I know for me and Nate, it's nice to be able to address everything. I feel like there's more for everybody, which is just, it's nice. It's a nice kind of more casual way of doing things. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully we get our studio back soon. As you can see, we're still in the Drumeo
I think we have next week we're in here.
Another couple weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, something like that. We'll be back over to the normal spot. It's cold in here.
It is cool in here because they have the AC cranked because there's so many people in the other studio.
Exactly. What else do I have to say to everybody?
Oh, I was cranking the wrong.
You're cranking the wrong thing? Oh, there's so
You didn't
many
see
times
that.
that I've done that. I'm excited. I'm playing 2 gigs this weekend. It's Canada
awesome.
Day this weekend, so we're doing a little Canada Day
Oh,
gig.
that's where are you playing?
Just in Chilliwack, just for it's like the citywide Canada
Oh, the
Day
parade kind of
celebration.
thing?
So it's gonna be fun, the pre-fireworks show kind of thing.
Cool.
Where I'm from. So
I think we're gonna do an open mic night Thursday night with my
Nice.
wife. So it's a place out. Where is it in Langley or
Yep.
Surrey? That's called Porter's. Is supposed to have some really good players. that come
Okay.
through. And Simon Jarrett
table
was
that.
there. Oh yeah, no, you can't have it. Simon Jarrett was there. If you saw Simon's lesson with us, he plays out there kind of regularly.
okay.
So I was like, if he goes out there, I'm gonna, show up.
Totally.
Just if nothing else, just to watch him play. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Thank you guys for coming out. Let's play out.